Sure. Oh, no. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we'll think on that no more. They tell me, yes. And so how many total should we order? Let's see things. How many total should we order? 1,000. Have them ship 200. We are going into spring.
The supplier says they increased their quality, but who knows? The supplier said.
Okay, the supplier said they increased their quality.
But who knows?
At least they said. So we'll try. Okay. You there? Okay. Talk to you tomorrow.
So, all right. Well, it's November the 12th, and we're here on our team call for Activz, and already there's been a lot of chatter and there's a lot of excitement on what's going on and what people are getting their hands on. And we also are very excited because I had the privilege of going a couple weeks ago out to the headquarters, the corporate headquarters of Activz. And I met some amazing folks, and I was really impressed. And we have the privilege tonight of having a special guest with us, and that's the CEO of this company, David Brown. And before I begin to talk with him and let him explain a few things, I just want to remind some people that number one, this is our first full month that we're in, which is the month of November, okay? So for anyone that has begun to get customers or distributors, make sure that they have auto ship taken care of. Make sure that they have the other things that need to take care of, like if they need to get paid, that they sign up for ProPay. This is an amazing compensation plan, and we want to make sure that they can do that. Also, once they hit $600, they do need a W-9 filled out. So just a couple of things you want to write down. It's that auto ship, the ProPay, the W-9 that needs to be taken care of and scanned and emailed or mailed to corporate headquarters. The last thing that I want to mention is this, and that is, who would like a new iPad? Because it's very easy. The corporate has made a bonus here, and although we're almost halfway into November, it is still very, very possible to actually get a new iPad. And so make sure you see those details. You sign up for premium packs and you get a new iPad. I need a new iPad. You know, mine's kind of old and needs an upgrade. So that's about all the housekeeping details that I have for this call. And so I would like to see, is David Brown, are you on the call? If so,
I am.
Please
unmute
you.
Can you see me?
I sure do.
All right.
It's good. It's good to talk to you. Good to see your smiling face again.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Okay. One thing I was wondering if you could explain, because I think it's very interesting, to maybe explain a little bit of the history and how did Activz come to be? It didn't just appear out of thin air. Could you tell us a little bit about that journey? I think it's important.
Sure, be happy to. Well, I'll go back a little bit further in time, and that is to explain that I'm a lawyer by training, but I entered the nutritional supplement space about 25 years ago now, 24 years ago, and as a lawyer, and became the president of a company then that was not in network marketing, that was in retail, and then and had some very good success, and then after being recruited to a company that some others have heard about called LifeVantage, that's where I met many of the team that I'm currently involved with in building such a great company like Activz. And with that team, we were able to have a tremendous run. We had a lot of success, grew that company tremendously from where it was. And all of us found ourselves having left the company. I left about almost 5 years ago. And although all of us had very different options, places that we went for a while and could have gone other places, when the opportunity came to come back together, particularly Ryan Thompson and I, who had stayed in touch, actually I'd stayed in touch with most of the people to some degree or another, but he and I had been spending time together and had talked about creating a company together, a company that was very different. We had learned a lot through our successes. We'd learned some things through our failures. And we knew what kind of company that we wanted. And we were both in very strong agreement that the type of company that we wanted would offer some of the great benefits, some of the great positive things that other companies in and outside of network marketing did in terms of providing a great culture, providing great scientifically validated products that made a real difference in people's lives. And then in regards to network marketing, also provided a real business opportunity. Now, all companies talk about that, but the statistics in network marketing don't bear that out. The statistics in the industry show that most people fail. And they fail not because they don't work very hard, but that the system lets them down. And we realize that not everyone is created equal. And so we wanted to really create a company where every product that we introduced was designed to have a benefit for whomever took it. And also that our business opportunity was designed to meet people where we find them. If some people were very good at simply talking about their experience and sharing their experience with others, and that brought lots of customers, but they really weren't good at talking about the business opportunity and things like that, fine. The compensation plan was designed to help them succeed. And then if there are people that really wanted to treat this like a full-time business, like a true business opportunity, almost like a franchise, then we would have an opportunity for them to truly succeed and have full-time income. And so we've done that in a variety of ways, but that was our vision. That's what we set out to do, and that's why we have the types of products that we do that are validated, that have strong, unique benefits that virtually everyone needs, and why our compensation plan has been shown over the past year in Mexico to provide exactly the type of benefits and opportunity that we have told people that it would. And so I tell people, Kurt, you've heard me say this before, that I'm a recovering lawyer, but I'm not fully recovered. And you can tell that when you ask me a short, very simple question like that, I have a long-winded explanation, but I get very excited when I talk about this. And so I apologize for the lengthy speech.
No problem. I really appreciate it. And there's a couple things that really attracted me to, and some of it is the team that you have assembled there, just their expertise, their experience. The other thing, and maybe you can address it, is there's a new term called omni-channel marketing. And how did you come up with that, and how is that different from anything else we've seen before?
That's a great question. I appreciate you asking that. And by omni-channel, what we mean is that we recognize that there are different channels of distribution. Direct marketing, or going directly from the company, us, that has the products, to the customer who needs them. There's various methods of that. You can see infomercials on TV that sell products directly to the consumer. There's e-commerce. There's still mail order and catalogs that are directed directly to consumers. And then there's other channels. There's retail channels, and then there's wholesale and all those type of channels. What we recognize is that there are stereotypes that are associated with network marketing. Sometimes people hear the word MLM or network marketing or direct sales, and they immediately, their defenses come up and they say, no way, I'm never buying a product from a network marketing company. Everyone knows that network companies are all pyramid schemes, they're all scams, their products are all snake oil, and you probably all heard things like that before. Well, in our effort and our desire to meet people where we find them, we believe that our products are so valuable, are so important. We want everyone to have an opportunity for them, and we don't want anyone to have any excuse. And so we are going to present these products in these different channels, omni-channel, virtually every channel. Now, some people might say, well, wait a minute, isn't that going to put the company in competition with me as a distributor? If somebody can buy it online through the company or through some other effort, through a physician's practice or something like that, if the company is doing that directly, isn't that going to affect me? And the answer is no. And here's why. Because we are going to absolutely maintain the pricing of this so that no one will ever be able to get a better price than they will through distributors and being distributors. And then more importantly, perhaps, is that we are going to take that revenue that we make from these other outside channels, and we're going to put those into the pools that everyone has an opportunity to share in, starting at the A6 level. And that's going to contribute to them in addition to revenue that comes in from traditional network marketing channels. And so wherever we succeed, you succeed. And that's basically what omni-channel means.
Yeah, and the other thing that I thought was really, really interesting is I remember after I was in a previous company and I got to like 10,000 a month volume, I got into like a global sharing. And when I looked at your compensation plan, I was like, oh my goodness, at 10% of that in Activz, I would have started global sharing. And why did you do that? And what's the benefit of that?
Well, you heard me mention earlier that one of the things that bothered me, even in our company that was previously very successful, were the number of people that did not have success. There were some people who made tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. But for every one of those, there were thousands of very disappointed people who didn't make any money. And that to me is just unacceptable. And so our compensation plan was aimed at the little guy. While there are already people making $10,000, $20,000 a month in Mexico, what I'm most proud of is how many people are making $500 a month, how many people are making $1,000 a month. And so part of that, in an effort to really help the little guy succeed, was to take what was a widespread activity. Lots of companies have global pools, but usually they're reserved for the very elite levels. And so we wanted everyone to feel like they were sharing in each other's efforts at a much earlier stage so that they can benefit from everyone's efforts. And then it also gives them added incentive now that they're participating in those type of pools to keep working. Realize that it's really helping them and it's really making a difference in their lives. And we think it's going to keep people excited. It's going to keep them in the company because they realize, hey, I really am making some money here. And that was the incentive, or that was our rationale for everything that we did, including establishing those pools at such a relatively low level.
Okay. Well, that was pretty amazing because when I really began to look and I saw the compensation plan, I said, wow, this is like taking a former compensation plan, the best that I'd seen before, and just totally improving it, like 2.0. And so I was excited about that. But really what first got my attention with Activz is I followed Joe McCord and his work with NRF2, and that's what first attracted me to what you were doing. I think that was true for a lot of people, and I know that that's been available some in Mexico. What kind of caught me unawares was you have another amazing product, Link, that at first I was like, oh no, why do we have this link? But you were right. this is amazing product. We were having people give testimonies. Joanne's on here. She's about 80. She says, I feel like I'm 30, she said, and she said, this is the best supplement I have ever taken. So anyway, you can talk to a little bit about the amazing products that are available now and will maybe be rolling out or in different markets, because that's what first got my attention. So I think it's the same with some others.
Well, as I mentioned, my first foray into network marketing was with LifeVantage. And at the time that I became their CEO, it was a retail company. It had Protandim, and Protandim was this amazing product that had great science. And I said, you're in the wrong channel. You can't be in retail. It's not going to work. You need to take it into network marketing. And as you know, we had great success there. And so I was spoiled. I was spoiled by having had this. Most companies out there have a lot of what I call and others call lotions and potions. The industry's full of that kind of stuff. And it doesn't mean that they're bad product necessarily, but there's a lot of Me Too products out there. And so I was used to this very high standard. And during my time as CEO, we focused on very, products that had that type of reputation. So when we formed Activz, both Ryan and I had been talking with Dr. McCord, and we knew that he had told me, even during the time that we were working together at LifeVantage, that he could produce products that were much more potent than Protandim. And so Genomics is the result of that. It is the most potent NRF2 activator in existence. It's the most potent NRF2 activator that Dr. McCord has ever produced, and we're having great results, as you say, in Mexico. And you say, great, David, I'm glad you really reviewed that. Everybody would like it, but it's not available everywhere else yet. And that's true. And there were some reasons why Pathways Biosciences, his company, and we decided not to expand that license worldwide. And frankly, I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's because we didn't want to get into a fight with LifeVantage at this point in places like the United States and other. So, we want to make sure that everyone knows that what we're doing is different. It's not meant to attack anyone else. It's not meant to belittle anyone else. There's room enough for lots of companies. But that said, as we were considering what product then to take into the United States, I faced a bit of a dilemma because we had this strong product with great science in Mexico. And while I have been in the industry, the supplement industry for a long time, I know a lot about products, I didn't feel like we'd yet really discovered a product that met the high standard of scientific validation and uniqueness. Now that's important because, one of my current scientific advisory board members, I won't tell you who, approached me and said, David, would you be interested in a newly discovered, newly patented form of vitamin C? It's the most bioavailable vitamin C that's out there. It's tremendous. And I said, absolutely not. I'm not interested. And he mistook my lack of interest for maybe not believing what he said. And I said, no, doctor, I totally believe you. It's probably a very great form of vitamin C. Here's the deal. It answers a question that no one's asking me. No one's asking me for a more powerful form of vitamin C. And I think it's going to be very difficult for my distributors to get people excited about a new form of vitamin C, even if it's the greatest thing under the sun. For it to be a truly great business opportunity, it's got to be a unique product with unique features and benefits. And so it's interesting in regards to the US, I really was kind of frustrated and wondering what we're going to do. And then about a year ago, really out of the blue, I had a thought was prompted. I think there may have been, I'm not sure everybody believes me, but I think that it was a message from the universe, a prompting, a divine inspiration, what have you. But I was inspired to give a person a call that I had not spoken to in over 20 years. Not because we had a falling out or a fight or anything like that. Our paths just diverged and went into different directions. And we both kind of known what the other one was doing. But this man had built a very successful company introducing medical foods to physicians' office practice. And they built a very big company with strong, scientifically validated products. And then he'd sold that company about 5 years ago. And I just had a feeling to give him a call. So I called him up. And he said, what are you doing these days? And I said, well, I've started a new company, and I'm looking for great, unique, scientifically researched products. And he said, he could be a little gruff at times. And his next sentence to me was this. He said, who have you been talking to? And I said, well, I haven't been talking to anyone. Why would you ask me that question? And he said, well, because it just is very coincidental, very strange that you would be calling me right now. And I said, why? He says, well, I've just completed the patent process for a very unique product for butyric acid. And I didn't know what butyric acid was. I didn't know what butyrate was. He said, I'm going to send you the research. So he sent me the research. And I said, this is incredible. The benefits of butyrate on everything from neurogenesis in the brain to endothelial cells in the stomach lining to increasing metabolism and fighting inflammation and all those type of things. I said, this is too good to be true. You got to be kidding me. Well, it wasn't. And so we decided to go down that route. And as you mentioned, it's something that when people take, they have a real experience, which is actually an advantage over genomics or Protandim, in my opinion, because those products are good products, but they in most cases, people don't really notice it too much, even though it is having a very great effect upon the system. But with Link, you'll notice it. And just today, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight as to an experience I had today. We have a new member of our scientific advisory board. So new that our agreement, we have a verbal agreement, but it hasn't been set in paper yet. It's about to be. We'll get the lawyers to finalize it this week. But this is a very well-known neurosurgeon. Unbelievable background. And when I was first introduced to him, I knew that he had great credentials. But what I didn't know, when he came today with his research assistant, and we met in person for the first time, and they said to me, they surprised me with how much they knew about butyric acid. And they said, we always felt that if a company could take the bad smell and the bad taste that occurs naturally in butyric acid, that we would have the holy grail. He said, how did you do this? This is an incredible product. And they went on to say things like, do you know that you could actually, and believe me, don't say this, please. So everyone that's on this call, please be careful in this information. But one of the things that they said, you could have a line extension of other types of butyric acid products. He said, in fact, they're in neurology and neurosurgery. You could have a product that's just aimed at brain tumors. I said, well, I don't think we'll ever have a product that's aimed at brain tumors. That's a claim that we can't make. He said, well, do you know the impact upon brain tumors that butyric acid has? It's incredible. And so these guys were just going crazy over butyrate and butyric acid, and specifically that which is found in Link. And then they said, you got to be kidding me. How did you get the idea to add these other ingredients, these prebiotics like inulin and glucomannan and deglycerized licorice? I said, well, we spent a lot of time thinking about this and working with formulators. They said that is brilliant because you're getting it from two ways. You're supplementing what people need in butyric acid, but you're also feeding the healthy, the friendly bacteria, the friendly flora that produces the butyric acid naturally in your system. He said, this is unbelievable. And so, I get pretty geeked up when I talk about this because the science is so great. I've noticed benefits with myself, and as has my wife and everyone close to me. So that's how it came about. And call it happenstance, call it luck. I do think we're incredibly fortunate because we have something that really is changing lots of lives, even as we speak.
Wow, you get me pretty excited just by talking also. So where do you see it going from here? We're in the process of just opening the doors here in the U.S. and we have either new distributors or people interested in being new distributors on the call. So how do you see the future and what's opening to us right now?
Well, I'll tell you right now is a great time to join the company, particularly in the U.S. And the reason I say that is because now we have a year under our belt. We will, this Saturday, I think Lilia's on the call. We'll be with Lilia and many others in Mexico City, celebrating our 1-year anniversary in Mexico. And the significance of that is that we've already proven out what I said earlier about what our intent for the compensation plan was. So it's already been shown to be effective. People are making money. You know, it's very interesting. If you add $500 a month to most people's lives here, even here in the United States, it can be pretty significant. But adding $500 a month to the average person in Mexico is life-changing. And we have many, many stories of that type of thing happening in Mexico. The other thing is, and you mentioned this earlier, Kurt, is that in regards to these pools, the pools are comprised of global revenue. So when our Mexican distributors joined, guess what? There was no revenue coming in from any other country. It was just whatever was going into those pools was what was being generated just in Mexico. For those people who are now joining in the United States, they get the benefit as they join and advance through the ranks of getting global revenue that's not just revenue coming in from the US, but money that's coming in from an already strong Mexican market. So that's pretty significant. Now, added to that is that we have tremendous interest that's been shown to us in Japan. I speak Japanese. At LifeVantage, Japan was a very strong market for us. We have extremely strong and interested leaders in Japan, and we will be launching in Japan before the end of the year. Again, more revenue coming in to contribute to those global pools. You can look forward to us expanding into other countries in the next 60, 90, 120 days. I mentioned Japan. We're close to getting all the regulatory approvals for Peru and then Colombia, and along with extreme interest in those countries from distributors that are already there. And then that's the market expansion on the horizon. I think that following that quickly will be places like Taiwan and Hong Kong. And so that's of interest to some people on this call, I'm sure. And then from the product standpoint, we have a number of really great, equally powerful, equally scientifically validated products in our R&D pipeline. In fact, frankly, if you knew of the benefits of these products, as I was relating these products to this doctor today, who came to our office, he's like, "Why don't you introduce these products now? These are amazing products." And I said, "Well, believe me, we are tempted, but we want to make sure that each product is given its due, is given its proper emphasis, and that we don't confuse people too much." But I can tell you that there are some blockbuster products in our pipeline that are going to work very well with our existing product line, treat even more health conditions in a powerful, noticeable way. Okay, I can't hold the news. I'm going to tell you about one of them, okay? One of them is a form of curcumin. Now, curcumin is something that has lots of science behind it, particularly for pain relief and for anti-inflammation. It's also very interesting to note that this doctor today mentioned to me that in India, people in India have a traditionally much lower level of cancer because of the amount of turmeric or curcumin that they consume naturally in their cultural diet. The problem with curcumin is it's a very large molecule and it doesn't absorb easily. And so what we've licensed is a particular form of curcumin that is much more bioavailable, that makes it through the gut and into the large intestine, and the results on inflammation, on pain relief are astounding. And they're not subtle, they are powerful. And so that's something that you can look forward to. Maybe I shouldn't, I get excited. You guys get the benefit of me getting a little excited and carried away to give you some secrets, I guess. But that's the type of thing that you can look forward to seeing in the fairly near future.
Well, makes me want to tell more and more people. And I really appreciate you being on the call. And you're right. When if you would have brought out 4 products all at once, I never would have really looked at Link and valued it for what it is. And so I see actually the genius behind that, and I appreciate your leadership as well as Ryan and just the team you have there. I feel very secure knowing that you've gone this path before, and it's not your first rodeo, so to speak. And so Thank you very much for being on the call. I want to respect your time. It's been about a half an hour, and I don't know if you have time for a question or two, or if you need to get off, it's up to you.
Absolutely. No, these are important opportunities. I'd love to be part of them. And so if anyone has any particular questions about Link or our Amora line, and we're getting a lot of testimonials and feedback on the Amora line. So or if there's questions about anything else, I'm happy to try and answer them.
Okay, so if you unmute yourself, you might have to hit *6, or if you're on a landline, or if you press the mute button on the bottom left-hand corner, you should be able to ask the question.
Yes, Joanne here. Grace Ziegler called me, and she knows somebody who has a brain tumor, and she just called me yesterday and was asking if this helps. So I said I'd find out.
Well, again, because we can't make claims legally, all I can tell you is what this doctor told me today, that butyric acid can be helpful. Now, I'm not going to say that it will cure her or it will cause it to go away, but I will say this, that it will certainly do no harm. And so I would encourage her to try it. And I believe that there may very well be some good benefits to her in a variety of ways. How's that for a lawyer's answer?
Sounds great. And it's not Grace, it's a friend of hers.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine. I wish them all the best, for sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I understand.
Hi, this is Shirley from just outside of Lancaster, PA, and I wanted to check, is there anything that you should not take with Link, or any recommendations, anything about the time of day or anything of that sort with regard to taking it?
Well, there's no contraindications that we are aware of at this time. We haven't heard of any type of allergies. We've not heard of any type of indications in which people should not take the product. We generally recommend that people take it in the morning and in the evening. There's not anything particularly magical about that, except that you want to get the body a chance to absorb it and utilize it. It's if you take it on an empty stomach, or if you take it with food, really makes no difference. There's not, most people, I've not heard of anyone. I generally take it on an empty stomach myself, not necessarily by design, just that's when I do it. And there's no discomfort there that like you might get when you take B vitamins or something on an empty stomach. So no, I don't. And if we did know of something, we would certainly pass that along. But at this point, there's nothing that is contraindicated that we know of.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, David. Am I unmuted?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, this is Janet from Ohio.
Hello.
And unfortunately, I have a lot of cancer people around me. And I have one question about Mexico. I do know of 2 clinics over there. And I'm wondering if any of the people that are in Activz has been selling to these clinics. I wonder if they're using these supplements in their clinics. Do you know of any?
I don't know. I'm not sure, Janet. I don't know one way or the other on that. We do have a lot of doctors, actually a surprising number of doctors who have joined the company in Mexico, or maybe not surprising, as you know, a lot of companies don't get medical doctors to join them, but we have, simply because of the research behind and what they know about it. In fact, we also are currently engaging in a study at the University of Oaxaca on breast cancer with genomics, but specifically in regards to any clinics, I'm not aware of that. I'd certainly, I can put the word out, and I'll talk to Ryan. Ryan would probably have more information about that than I do, but as we speak, I don't know, but I'll see what I can find out about that.
Thank you, David. I know that 2 of the clinics that target the U.S. citizens a lot, one is called CHIPSA, and the other is Hope for Cancer. But I appreciate all your time and all your wisdom.
I don't know about wisdom. You haven't talked to my wife recently, but you're welcome.
Hi, this is Hui Ling, singer from Lilith, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for coming on the Zoom. And I've seen you on video with the previous company many times, and it's really great to meet you kind of in person. I have two questions. Number one, is this company public traded?
No,
And
it's not.
if okay, is it going to be in the future?
Well, I guess never say never, but probably not. I'm the largest shareholder. I don't intend to take it public. I like it. I like it being. I like my team and I being in control of its future without having to worry about outside influences that may not have the best interests of the company at heart. And so I don't anticipate it going public anytime soon.
Okay, I have number two question is link. Can I find peer review study on PubMed.gov? Because I'm actually in front of the computer, and if I type in link, will I find?
Not yet, you won't. I
Okay.
was just, you will find many on butyrate or butyric acid. Yes,
Okay.
you'll find many, hundreds probably, maybe thousands. But on link specifically, not yet. And in
Okay.
fact, one of the things that we just were in discussions with this doctor and his research assistant today is getting studies going specifically on our formula. Now we are able to both legally and ethically rely upon these other studies in regards to what butyrate and butyric acid has been shown to do. The main advantage actually over link and our form of butyric acid and the butyric acid that was found in or that's utilized in those studies is if you read those studies, you'll notice that while there are a lot of animal studies, there are a few human studies, and you'll notice in those studies that one of the things that people had a problem with is the taste and the smell of the butyrate that was being used in those studies. And because I'm not sure if any of you are aware about this, but in its natural state, as well as when it's prepared in the laboratory, butyric acid is responsible for the smell of stomach bile or vomit. So it's not very appealing. Some companies have tried to cover that taste, that naturally occurring taste and smell, with lemon and other things, and it's just not. It just doesn't work. And the people that we are licensing the product from have been able to remove that bad taste, that bad smell, and so that's really the only difference. In addition, I'm sorry, there is one other big, huge difference I need to comment on. In addition to the fact that our butyric acid molecule has been nanosized or shrunk down and also wrapped in a protective coating so that it is more easily absorbed by the body, and it also makes its way through the very acidic environment in the stomach and makes its way into the large intestine. So those are the advantages over even what you'll find in those studies. But we look forward to having our own unique studies in the future.
Thank you so much.
Okay, one more question. Who has one more question? Thank you very much, David. Go ahead, unmute yourself if you would like. Okay, so I will ask the one question. With the link, have you heard of people that have maybe a detox effect, or was some supplements, people kind of go through kind of a cleansing? Have you heard of that, or not so much?
Yes, I have. And sometimes it's been severe enough or concerning enough to them over like the first day that they're like, whoa, what am I doing to myself? Do I even want to stay on this product? But in every case, it generally lasted like 2 days, where there may have, I've heard of people experiencing either some diuretic type of effects like diarrhea. I've heard of some cramping, and in some cases I've even heard of some headaches. Now those are all very rare, but I can tell you in each of those situations where that came to my attention, their first thought naturally was, wow, this might be detox. Number two, is this something that I really want to stick with? Because this is not very comfortable to me. And then in every single case, on about the third or the fourth day, they felt such relief, so much better than they were feeling from before when they first started taking Link, that now even those people that had a more severe or more noticeable detox effect, they're the ones that frankly sing the praises of Link the loudest. And so yes, I have heard of that. And it's not, I wouldn't say that the real more noticeable uncomfortable detox effects are really normal, but you know, I have heard of them, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, David. It's good to see you. Thank you for taking your time for our team here. We're excited about helping other people financially, physically, and in every area of their life. And thanks for being part of our team and for being here. So God bless you, and thank you. Everybody on the team will be back here next Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And looking forward to seeing you. So God bless you, and everybody have a great week. Okay?
Thanks, Kurt. It's great to be with you tonight.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.